Have you ever wished for an opportunity? Maybe an opportunity to stand on the court. Maybe an opportunity to publish or write. Maybe an opportunity to release that piece of artwork you've been wanting to post online. But there's always something stopping you. Fear, anxiety, doubt. And when you're finally at that spot, the moment when you get your opportunity, your chance, you fall flat. You get cold feet. You fail so bad that you don't think you ever want to try again. But you get back up. The people who are close to you support you, no matter the outcome. And after trying, and failing a few more times, eventually, you're able to fly in your own special way. This is just one of the many subplots, stories, and real-world parallels that Haikyuu embodies. The concept of anxiety, failure, and the desire to run away is something that every human being faces, whether they'd like to acknowledge it or not. Maybe it's something small, like interjecting yourself into a conversation with a bunch of strangers at a party. Maybe it's something big, like a musical performance. Maybe it's something life-altering, like asking that person you really like on a date. Tadashi Yamaguchi is one of the most relatable characters in Haikyuu. Unlike the ever-energetic Hinata and the genius Kageyama, Tadashi is what I would call normal. I consider one of the best parts of Haikyuu to be Furudate's ability to weave its narrative and themes into each and every character, no matter how major or minor they are, no matter if they're on screen for an episode or two, a fan favorite, or a constant and recurring presence. Everyone has their own arcs they go through. To be honest, I didn't think much of Tadashi at the beginning. He seemed like he was Tsukishima's sidekick and friend, not really having any personality of his own other than defending Suki when others would come after him. But then I noticed something that I overlooked the first time I watched Haikyuu. His dismay at being the only first year that wasn't going to be a starter for the practice match. And that trend continues when he is the only one of the first years that isn't a consistent player throughout the series. I thought his relationship with Suki was a rather strange friendship, as Tadashi is a fairly kind and genial character in contrast to Tsukishima's often cynical and snarky personality. But on closer examination and through watching Haikyuu, I realized I was very wrong. I dismissed him because he was a lot like myself. It's terrifying to resonate with a character who has a lot of traits that you dislike about yourself. Like much of Haikyuu's cast, the kanji of Tadashi's name reflects the journey and character that he is. His first name, Tadashi, roughly translates to loyalty or devotion, while his last name, Yamaguchi, translates to a mountain entrance or gateway. While the meaning of Tadashi is apparent in his loyalty and devotion to his best friend in Tsukishima, and later down the line in how he gets along with his teammates, I believe the meaning of his last name in Yamaguchi thematically foreshadows the journey he takes from Season 1 through Season 3. A tall mountain looms over him. A mountain composed of his own fears, doubts, insecurities, and lack of self-confidence. He wants to go see the view from the summit, but he doesn't really see a way forward. In fact, it might be easiest to run away. This is apparent when his past with Tsukishima is explored. Tadashi has always been shy and unconfident. Observers from the crowd might take that a step further and call him a weakling or a coward. So when he first witnesses a jump floater done by Shimada during Karasuno's practice match against the neighborhood association team, it grabs his attention as a means to confront these feelings of inadequacy and doubt that he's always had. He wants to learn how to stand on the court and fight, in his own way. So he asks Shimada about the jump floater, and doesn't get a chance to see the court for much of Season 1. That is, of course, until Karasuno's first matchup against Aoba Josai. In the midst of Karasuno's struggle to stop Aoba Josai's momentum, Coach Ukai sends Tadashi out as a pinch server, for his first time, for his first serve ever in an official match. It's the opportunity he's been subconsciously waiting for. The chance to stand on the court. His chance to scale the mountain, to see the view from the summit for the first time. And what happens? He falls flat on his face. He ends up hitting the serve into the net. He fails in front of everyone. His teammates, his coach, his opponents, and the crowd. Shimada remarks that relying on your team is most of volleyball. Serving is the only time you're alone. Everyone will be looking at you, and you've got all the pressure. And when he fails, none of his teammates belittle him. Instead, they know that he feels the worst about it. Daichi simply tells him, make sure you make it next time. And just having someone express confidence in you for your next attempt is comforting, even if it is bittersweet. Shimada expresses the same sentiment, that yes, this regret and feeling of helplessness he feels right now is agonizing, but it will make him stronger. He could have given up, but when Shimada tells him about the first time he ever succeeded using a jump floater, and the feeling that accompanied that success, Tadashi reaffirms his desire to move forward. But it isn't until the Wakunan match that Tadashi gets a chance at redemption, and when faced with another opportunity, he runs away again, settling for a standard serve that is easily received. Still, despite his cowardice, his teammates continue to stand up for him, as they continue to say, on to the next one. Coach Ukai notes that Inoshita was able to overcome his cowardice when he thought for himself, told the team his plan, and then managed to carry it out, boosting his confidence. And Ukai thinks back to this as Tadashi asks for another chance to prove himself, that even he, a coward, can take flight. Karasuno is later in need of a momentum shift during their rematch with Aoba Josai, and this time, Tadashi rises to the challenge. When you fail, there comes a choice. You either succumb to the failure and give up or run away, or you resolve yourself to try again, whether the end result be success or failure. And the moment he finally takes flight is exhilarating. In the exact same situation as his first opportunity, and against the very same opponent he turned his back on, but this time with a different outcome. He scores a service ace. The validation he's been seeking for so long, the reward for all of his hard work, is finally acknowledged. Tadashi may have been a coward once, but in that moment he succeeds, he finally takes flight. Tadashi scales the mountain that has been tormenting him since he was a child. He can decisively stand on the court just like Hinata, Kageyama, and Tsukishima. He sees a path beyond his doubt and fears. Through grueling failure and hard work, Tadashi manages to find self-efficacy. And that's the scary part. It takes Tadashi multiple failures, self-reflection, and a resolution that he's not going to run away anymore. I look back on my own life and wonder how many times I've run away from things that made me uncomfortable or scared. You might feel discouraged when you lose, when you fall on your face, when you don't live up to expectations. You might think you're not good enough. But when you finally succeed, that mountain in front of you, it suddenly seems a little bit smaller, something that can actually be scaled or crossed, even if just temporarily. For Tadashi, he finally gains that resolve, that validation, that confidence and fortitude that has eluded him since he was a child. He finally scales the mountain. He finally realizes that even he, a former coward, can take flight. And I think that's the magical feeling that we should all strive for. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to add it to your favorites, give it a like, and subscribe. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time.